So now, this is something we discussed yesterday. Now we will try to explore few more commands. So load command, it helps to copy the data from HDFS file system in any variable or alias or relation. Dump is a command that helps to print the content, correct? Huh?
Print the content.
Now we will try to explore few more commands, so we will not change the source file. So where is the source file? In HDFS, you know how to open HDFS? In browser we have to go to name node status, then browse the file system. Now I'm in HDFS in root directory. So this machine is actually Hadoop 0.x version, but none of the command changed in Hadoop 2.x also. So this is for your learning purpose, and then we will continue with the same command in Hadoop 2.x. HDFS starts from root directory, and there we copied last time a file named EMP, correct? With this content, correct? And then we try to process. Same file is available in one more directory, where my present working directory in terminal is root home Cloudera, and there I saved a file named EMP that also contained the same content, correct? So now I will follow a standard, and the standard is we have total 2 directories in HDFS. One is raw data, another one is process data. Raw data contains raw files as it is that I get from somewhere, from some source system, from some server or anywhere, and process data contains whatever I want to store after ETL job in Pig. And where I will create it, I have a directory named root user Cloudera, correct? So in root user Cloudera, I want you to create these 2 subdirectories. Not directly, Cloudera is my main folder, and that I will create a subdirectory named data, and in that I will create it. So is this clear? And the command that I can use is Hadoop fs-mkdir. Does it make sense? And is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
So now what are we doing? We will create 2 standard folders, means standard directories. In Windows we have folders, and in Unix and HDFS we have directory naming convention. So it will allow me to create raw data and process data directories inside data directory. Inside this path, that root user Cloudera is already there, where it is root contains user and user contains Cloudera. So in this Cloudera, that is an empty directory, I want you to create 2 subdirectories. How? In Cloudera you will directly get data, in that you will directly get 2 subdirectories named raw data and process data. Now there is a point. Listen, how to run these commands? You will not run these commands in grunt shell. You know the reason? Grunt shell,
Pig.
so only for Pig specific commands, and these are HDFS commands. So I ran these 2 commands, and if I check in Cloudera, I got this data directory, and in data directory I got process data and raw data directory, correct? So can you run these 2 commands and let me know once it is done? Once it is done, then copy EMP file from operating system in HDFS in this particular path. So for this, the command is Hadoop fs-put EMP file I want to put in this directory, and this command again I will run in, and if I put something with hash, that is comment. So now we prepared an environment, like in Unix we have a file named EMP that I pulled in raw data, and before that I created these 2 directories. So whenever in future I get a new file for processing, where I will keep it in raw data, and after processing the processed output, where I will store in process data. Does it make sense? So earlier we directly copied the file in root, but in real time that is not the best practice. But earlier I wanted you to be familiar with basic commands. Now we will work on commands, as well as we will follow some standards. So we have standard, like data is the directory where we have the data. Raw data contains only raw data. Process data contains the data that is processed after applying some Pig script, or as of now you know only about Pig, or it can be any other tool as well. So once the data is available for, let's say, display purpose or visualization, will be moved to process data. And raw data and process data are HDFS. Fine. So I think as of now it is clear and no one has any doubt. Still there is any confusion, because these are the simple commands, but still there is any confusion, you can let me know. And once this EMP file moved, you can also try this Hadoop fs-cat. You know, cat is a command to display, but that we can directly go and check in the browser also. But I want you to feel comfortable with the command line interface, because as I told you, you will have to work in putty, because you will access some remote environment, and then might be you will not get the browser based access. So now this -cat display the file content. Which file? In the browser and data, in raw data I have EMP file. So same path and file name I mentioned here also, and I got the content. Commands are easy, but you should be able to understand. This is a command to print the content of file. Which file? HDFS file. Done? Is it clear, everyone? Now, what I want you to do is, we will start processing this file and we'll have to work on some operations. So earlier I told you about load command, print command, that is dump. For print we have dump command, then for each generate command, then group by, and then finally store. So what all keywords we know as of now? Load, store, dump, order by, and for each generate. And we also know about one of the function named pig storage, which helps to define the delimiter. So now let's say as coordinator or analyst or lead, I assign some task. Okay, you got some tasks, and the first task is display only those records in output. Okay, so what all fields are there in the data? First of all, you know, we have employee ID, employee name, and salary. So display only those records in the output which contains, or where salary, that is the third field. So what all values we have? 4,500, 35,000, 25,000. So salary should be greater than 6,000. And task 2, display only those records in output where name starts with capital A. What does it mean? We have Amit, Ellen, and Kathy as the name. So I want to display only Amit and Ellen in this case. Got it? So we have filter command simply, but before that you have to use load command.
Okay.
So if I go back to the yesterday, if I go back to the set of commands we created yesterday, so you know we have one of the command we used as test is my variable name, load is the keyword. This I need to replace now, correct?
Yes.
And whatever you used in cat, same you will use in load. Just give me 1 minute. Whatever you used in cat, same you will use in load. So this is the path and this is the name of the file. Using pig storage is a function where we can define the delimiter. Then there are total 4 fields along with the data type, 3 fields along with the data type. Fine. Then let's say FLT is new variable. I can give it any name, equals to filter is a predefined keyword. Where is the data? In test. Like order by we used with test yesterday. Filter test by condition. And the condition is, tell me, salary should be greater than, and then let's say dump FLT. Does it make sense? Similar to this, we have another requirement, but this is a exact match, that is a conditional operator. Now we have pattern matching.
Like?
So like in SQL we have like, correct?
8%.
We have a keyword.
Name.
The second field is ename.
Ename.
So ename I will apply. We have matches. In SQL we have like. Here we have matches. So name must start with A, and after A they can be anything. So in SQL we put percentile. Percentile means they can be 0 and number of characters. Here we put dot, star. Means after A from the next cat. Dot means current. From here
Okay,
they can be star means
regular expressions.
like regex. So they can be 0 and number of characters after A. If I say get only those where the A is available in between anywhere, I can do like this. Or if A should be the last character, I can do like this.
This is for unstructured regular. We use direct for this, right?
Yes.
Multiple
correct.
A should also.
Yeah, we can. Now we can do that as well. So only few changes, syntax related, but the requirement and the output you will get similar to SQL. The requirement is like data oriented, and output you will get as we get the output in using like command in SQL. That's what I'm saying. So can you try this now? So load command, doesn't start any MapReduce job. So where you will type these commands, in grunt shell. Correct? So I open a grunt shell now, and in this grunt shell, I will first use the load command. How to paste? Either right click and you will get paste, or the shortcut is Control-Shift-V. In grunt shell, Control-C, Control-V doesn't work for copy paste. That's why Control-C is for terminate. So Control-Shift-V to
Or right click.
right click and then paste. So if you want to paste something, Control-Shift-V. Now it is done. If I say describe test, it will display me the schema, like in SQL describe table name. Now the next command is filter, and then dump filter. FLT is name of the variable or relation or alias. Again started a MapReduce job, because every time when you say dump, it has to do some backend connectivity. It has to perform like connect with the HDFS file system, then get the data and then display. So now we got only 2 records. 1, 2 are the IDs, and the ID 3 is missing because the salary is less than 6,000.
ये जो हमेशा अपन वेरिएबल बनाते हैं टेस्ट फिल्टर
So similar to the
के वेरिएबल्स होते हैं मींस इसका टाइप क्या होता है इनका
okay, we call it bag, bag, bag.
बैक टाइप
Data type is bag, bag, bag. And for bag the notation is curly braces. See, if I say describe test, then notation is just like EID colon int, ename colon char array, salary colon int. This is something we define. Now test colon curly braces. So this is bag. So if you check in Piglet in manual, in the data type list, you will get one of the option name bag. So all these variables data type is bag, and the notation is curly braces. Got it? Now if I want to apply filter based on some expression, that is my second condition, this one, then dump FLT1 will give me only 2 records where Amit and Ellen. Simple. So again at backend, it started a MapReduce job, processing the data set, copied from HDFS, then started processing, and now if you check, I got only Amit and Ellen. Got it? You can try. Once it is done, you have to work on one more task, that is output of task 2. That is this. So right now I'm getting 25,000, 35,000 as salary. So output of task 2, you have to sort in descending order based on salary. So the output of the previous task is input for my next task. And Pig is a data flow language, where data flow from test to FLT1 or test to FLT2, or then we can pass to the next variable, FLT and FLT1, and we can use the next variable for task 3. Or these variable name also you can give some meaningful name. Let's say task 3 equals to order FLT1 by salary in descending order. So now if you say salary is a field which we added with test, not with FLT1, but FLT is again derived by test. So even if you say describe FLT1, you will get the same scheme.
Okay.
Because this is derived from the variable name test. And this is, I gave some meaningful name. Like this is for a particular task. I gave it name as task 3. Same we can do for FLT and FLT1. That's okay. As of now, we must concentrate on logic. Then naming standard definitely we can discuss. So now when I will get the, when it will give me the output salary, I will get in sorted. Got it? So similar to this, I will give you 6 to 7 more tasks for today now, so that you can feel comfortable and work on it easily. Then the next phase is how to process multiple files. And before that, even I have to tell you how to process a file that contains multiple delimiters. Like we have only comma as delimiter now. There can be multiple delimiters in the same file, or there can be only one delimiter, but we can change that delimiter. So how to handle these different scenarios? Like comma, separator. Space, pipe, comma, semicolon, find fixed length file. There are many cases. Or if file doesn't contain directly data, it contains some tags inside tags data like HTML, XML file. Or if the file is JSON where we have key value pairs. So input can be in any form. How to read that? So now if you check output, I got sorted based on salary 35,000 and 25,000. Got it? So let's try this and then I will give you a few more tasks today.